Welcome back to another 10 Toes Tuesday. My week has been pretty good so far. Soccer started. It was a tournament this weekend. It was cold, it was rainy, it was obviously wet. We had some thunder and lightning delays. But generally, this is when my season gets busy. So I'm going to start trying to record these a little earlier and get them out. Usually I do these on the weekend, but with everything starting back up, I have to redo my schedule. Which brings us to today's topic, which is never give up and make sure that you don't let someone dictate what you can do. More importantly, what today's topic would be is keep your head down and work pretty much towards your goals, and always stand 10 Toes Tuesday inside of you. I worked at this hospital and I met a lot of great friends there, different nationalities, different walks of life. But there was this one gentleman that we worked in a room together. We were locked in a room. It was myself, him, and one or two other people. It was very limited access. He's smart. He's just a very smart guy, but people did not understand his culture, and they really did not try to get to know his culture and what it entailed, or him as a person. They thought because he looked different that he was not dumb, but they did not think that he was as smart as he was. He kept his head down. Very funny, he'd talk if you talk to him, but again, he was different than what we are used to. So the old saying is true: you judge a book by its cover. Well, he comes into this room and he was help desk, and the reason he was help desk was because at the time that was the only job that was available to him. He was vastly underpaid for his skills. His name is Achu, and we needed someone down in this ISOC. I worked in a ISOC department for a little bit, and people would make fun of his name, Achu, bless you, and things. He'd play it off a little bit, and he's from Africa. He'd wear African garbs, very proud of his African heritage and his newly African American heritage. My boss, who we're just gonna say it, he was a he was an OWM. He was very, we'll say, old school, so that we don't get in trouble on here. We'll say old school. He was very old school in his way of thinking and how he maneuvered. So I'm an only, and then I get a Chu who is only. And we're working side by side now. Of course, we knew that we could not act like we were friends and helping each other. If you know anything about old schools, that's not allowed. Where two or three are gathered, they don't want that. It's a conspiracy. Chu had degrees in, he had a degree, I forget, it was in computers, but he had one or two other degrees. He speaks 4 or 5 different languages. Very smart individual, but you wouldn't know that unless you talk to him. So we're in this confined room, and senior IT people and networkers and things, they come in. We had an emergency, and everyone's talking, okay? Everyone's giving their opinion. And Achu, we've been working together a couple months now. Achu told them what the problem was. No, that's not the problem. I've been here 20 years. I've been here 15 years. The gentleman that was supposed to be the lead person, he was there, I think, a year or two, but he had been in networking as well for a little bit. But Chu told him this is the problem. No one believed him. Day and a half later, guess what the problem got fixed? And then the issue and the fix was what he had told them, but it took 5 of them to figure it out. So he started to get a little bit of respect then. And he always real quiet when everyone else was laughing and joking, telling stories and things. He's working, and I was, what are you working on? Oh, I'm working on this program. I don't want to be here. I plan to go here. And he just kept working. I said, well, show me some stuff. So he'd show me stuff. And then when our boss came in, we, dispersed and we did our own thing. But he was very educated. He had more certifications than everyone in that room and in the department combined. What ended up happening was one day they pissed him off. And he had finally got hired into my department. We put in for him. They didn't know. They kept playing these games, but they got him into this room, right? The boss comes in and another guy, and another incident happened where he knew the answer. What he said in a very cool and calm manner and very respectfully was, I have more certifications on this very subject than anyone in the room, with all due respect. The guy that's in charge, I have, and he named off 3 or 4 of them. He said, you just listen to me this time, and it'll work out. You'll see that I know what I'm talking about. And then he shut up. He didn't say anything else. Everyone else thinks that they're the smartest person in the room. I knew I wasn't the smartest person in the room because I've talked to him and learned from him. And the other gentleman that was in there with us, he knew the same thing. It was, like I said, it was 3 or 4 of us in this locked room. He knew the same thing because we worked together side by side, day in and day out. After he said something, all 3 of us just went back to work again. Another 2 days went by, it was fixed. So Achu's now hired in this department. The old school boss comes in one day, and Achu had applied for a security position. It had been 6-8 months now. He had got another couple certifications under his belt. He had studied a few of these programs that we had and mastered them, and he would go home and study, and that's what he did on the weekends. So for 6 months, he did nothing but work and apply for this position. But it was a position outside of the old school boss's realm. And the old school boss didn't want to give him the nod. But when Achu went to the interview, they liked him so much and knew what he knew that they were going to take him. The old school boss tried to hold him back, saying that it had been too soon. He had just got hired into the position that we were in. And they said, no, we'll work out some things. But it was a lot of hurdles that he had to overcome. Basically, they told our boss, nah, we're taking him. You can do whatever you want to do, but you signed off on it. And now you're trying to go back and say that this man can't have that job. You're going to give this man the job. So they gave him the job. But they didn't pay him what he was worth. Fast forward about a year or so, he got another offer. I have a friend that needed a security guy. Now is Achu's in security. He had a friend that I know in security, and they knew each other. He would come in and visit. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That gentleman, I recommended to Achu. Achu contacted the guy that we know, went on the interview. He's the smartest person in the room. They make him an offer. The hospital that we were at realized that how much they were underpaying him, said, hey, we want you to stay, so we'll offer you this much that we'll counter, and we'll give you what they're going to offer you, which was a nice piece of money at the time, and we'll give you this other money. So they compensated, which he should have gotten in the first place, but politics and things sometimes dictates other things. But he kept fighting. He kept his cool, he kept his demeanor, and he never let them tell him how smart he was. He just had to show everybody. and he was 10 times smarter than these people. And I'm not just being facetious or saying it because he's my friend. This is the truth. Dude is just, he's a beast. When I say a beast, the boy's a beast. We'll fast forward another year. Now he's in security. I'm in my role. I moved to backup and some other networking stuff. And I'm learning other skills. And just like him, I keep my mouth shut. I keep my head down. I learn these programs. And I find out who I need to know to make my next move. We all got laid off. Me, Achu, Sharp. We're going to talk about Shar in probably the next 3 to 4 10 Toes Tuesdays. I want to get Shar in. She taught me about the money stuff, but we'll get her in. We get laid off, and they brought in this company, and what ended up happening was each one of us got a pay raise. Not just us, but most people who left found out that they were being very much underpaid. There were some people who were making, they had like 50% raises. I think that was the highest one, 20, 30. The average was about 50 though. You get about a 50% raise on what you were making. And me and Achu still keep in touch. He has had some challenges all throughout coming to America. He's African. Not only African, but to be black in America is hard enough. And then you throw in being from another country, and you throw in that you know 5 languages, and you throw in that you are 5 to 10 times smarter than your boss. You've got some challenges ahead of you. But he always kept it 10 toes down. He was always willing to help me. He was always there. And we went out and celebrated with some wings. We have to go and get some wings. I just talked to him the other week. We hadn't talked for a year or two since he has moved on from this hospital that we worked at. He's now been given some accolades. He is now one of the big boys. He's now has some people under him. He's now doing his thing. But he's still doing the same thing, studying, getting better. And that's what it's all about. And I align myself with him. He aligns himself with me. And we're after the same goal, and that is to get as much up here because they can't take that from you. I can have all the trucks, I can have all the cameras, I can make all the videos I want to, but if I'm not trying to grow and learn and know that I have to continue that, I'd be in a very bad place. So, hey, Achu, if you're watching, I appreciate you. We will get together for those chicken wings and have a beer and collaborate a little bit. But I think it needs to be known how far someone has to go and how underpaid people really are, and they'll take advantage of you. People will take advantage of you, even if you're the smartest one. And in some ways, that is what's going on right now in different parts of the country. We all know what I'm talking about, so we're not going to get into it. But watch out for the old schools. There's a lot of old schools out there that are teaching the new schools, and the new schools are worse than the old schools. With that, hey, you know what time it is. I hope you enjoyed this 10 Toes Tuesday. If you would, give me something that doesn't cost any money. Hit that like button, leave me a comment, share this video, subscribe. Subscribing costs you absolutely nothing. Hitting that button is a millisecond. And with that, remember, keep your head down, grind, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good week. Big Unc out.